Hi everyone, this video brings a spiritual message from each of the churches and churchyards in the City of London. So I visited each and got a short message. I'm going to run through each church in this video, and I'm just going to start with a little introduction. I'll put in some timestamps in case you want to skip ahead to just one of the sites, or you may want to listen to the whole thing. So as an introduction, the City of London, as you'd know if you've heard some of my other videos, has very powerful earth and spiritual energy, and the places of worship there tune into this. So there were, before the Great Fire of London, 100 churches in the square mile. So this area was packed with churches. 86 of those were destroyed in the Great Fire, and 51 of those were rebuilt. The majority were designed by Christopher Wren and some by his associates Robert Hooke and Nicholas Hawksmoor. So remember, the City of London is not a London borough but a ceremonial county. It holds city status on its own, and it's governed by the Corporation of London. As a city, it has its own cathedral, which is St Paul's Cathedral, and the City of London is where most of the UK trade is done. It's the financial centre of the UK. So they say, as well as the Great Fire, there was a second fire of London, which was the World War II bombing. So some churches that I'll talk about were destroyed or damaged in that. And there was a third time of bombs, which was the early 90s. So in 1992, the Baltic Exchange was bombed by the IRA, and that is the site now where St Mary Axe was built. And also in 1993, there was a bombing in Bishopsgate, and there's a lot of tall towers being built there now. And it was after those bombings that the Ring of Steel, which is a surveillance zone, was built in the city to protect it from further terrorism. So the first group of churches I'm going to go through in this video is 36 churches, which are Anglican churches where active worship still takes place. I'm going to present them in the order that I visited them, which makes a large loop around the city with some zigzagging back and forth. And there's a few bonus sites I'll put in, such as churchyards, in addition to this group of 36. The map I had for this was originally for a City Churches walkathon. I wasn't actually able to do the walkathon, but I've followed the map. St Paul's is the 37th in this video, which is a cathedral rather than a church, but I see it as the most powerful site in the City of London, and it is a place I had to include in this video. I also did a further visit last weekend. So previous to that, I'd visited the churches, just looking at 4 more sites, which are not churches in active use. Most of them are the sites of churches, but they're very powerful and had messages to tell. So as I said, you may want to listen to the whole video or just a message I got for a particular site. You may be drawn to a particular number of a church that I talk about. You may want to yourself recreate this walk or just visit some of the sites. So when I went, I spent a little bit of time at each one. It was on a Saturday, so most of them were not open on a Saturday. But what I would do is just either sit in the churchyard or near the church. I would touch the church, and once I had a message from it intuitively, I wrote them down. So all the photos taken by me were taken by me when I was at the building and feeling its energy. So you can connect with each church through the photos I took, and you can listen to the message I give and pause at any point if you want to reflect on that message a little bit more. Okay, the only other thing I want to say is there were 4 gates of the original City of London in the London Wall, named after St Botolph. So 4 of the churches are St Botolph churches. 1 is no longer there. St Botolph was the patron saint of travellers and wayfarers. So a wayfarer is a person who travelled on foot, like hiking, someone on a journey. So it's St Botolph-Billingsgate that's no longer there. That was lost in the Great Fire, as it was the closest church to Pudding Lane, where the Great Fire of London started. Now there's just a small gate and a little entrance pillar for that site. So, shall we get into the list? I'm just going to say the name of the church. If there's any extra information I thought you'd find interesting, I'm going to add it. But the main point is to give my intuitive message from each church. So, here we go. Okay, number one, we've got St. Vedast, which is on Foster Lane near St. Paul's Cathedral. I'd just like to point out, if you go down Foster Lane here, there's a blue door and it looks like it's locked, but you can go through that door and there's a lovely hidden garden behind that door. And the message here is growth, spirit, and harmony. Church 2 is St. Mary Le Bow, famous for you're a true Cockney if you were born within earshot of the Bow Bells. It's also the bells of this church that, in the story of Dick Whittington, called him back to London to be the first Lord Mayor. And the message from St. Mary Le Bow is respite, calming, cooling, gateway, light, and light worker. In addition, nearby, you may like to visit this first one here, St. Mary's Staining. There's no church there anymore, but the message from the site is protection, go within, retreat. It links to the Hermit card in the tarot, which is all about going within. And the message is to be reminded of your inner power and strength. And nearby, there's also the garden of St. Mary Aldermanbury. So a lot of the city gardens were churchyards of churches that were destroyed. And the message from St. Mary is healing, aura clearing, come here to listen and hear, portal, and protection. Next church, number 3, St. Giles, Cripplegate. This is the church on the Barbican estate. And the message is haven, energy, joy, light, now and then, harmony, and smile. Next is St. Botolph-Aldersgate. This is the church in Postman's Park and one of the St. Botolph churches. And the message is depth, magic, which I've written in capital letters, magic, heat, independence, abundance. I got the message it's on a ley line linking magical sites, manifestation, robust, and energizing. Near to here also, I've taken a picture of Christchurch Greyfriars garden. And the message here is healing, lightness, simplicity, happiness, memories, and it's a place for self-love. Next, church 5 is St. Sepulchre-without-Newgate, and the message is focus, seeing in the dark, and bolts of clarity. Church 6, St. Bartholomew-the-Less. This one is in St. Bart's Hospital, just inside the gate, which you can easily walk through, and it's got a lovely little garden. And the message is inner self, the stillness inside, rediscovering lost or hidden aspects of self, space, and a place to breathe. Church 7, St. Bartholomew-the-Great. And I'd like to point out, when I was in here, there was a sign saying, when the well is dry, we know the worth of water. There's also a ley line in the garden here. Have a look at the angle of this tree. And the message from this church is gratitude, human connection, soulmates, my soul knows your soul, namaste, inner light, confidence on a new path, going deep into meditation, trance, insights, deja vu, cave, depths, and the subconscious. Church 8 is St Andrew, Holborn. And the message is, listen, hear your inner voice, discovery, what's new, discover, and curiosity. Nearby there is this church, St Etheldreda's. It's an Anglican Catholic church, which is actually in Camden and not the city of London. But the message I got from here is Six of Cups. So if you know that card in the tarot, it's about giving and receiving love, family connections. And Church 9, St Dunstan-in-the-West. And there is a St Dunstan in the East, which we'll come to at the end of the video. But the message of this church is positivity, healing, physical energy. You already have the knowledge and answers you need inside. Church 10 is St Bride's Fleet Street. And apparently this is where the design for the tiered wedding cake come from. And I noticed on the ground this cross. It's some sort of cardboard box, I think, but I thought it was quite synchronistic for this video. So the message from St Bride's is growth, adapting to change, knowing and using your talents, and self-belief. Church 11, St Martin, Ludgate. The message is survival, flourishing, grounding, thriving, refreshment, and topping up your energy. Church 12, St Andrew by the Wardrobe. The message here is magic, manifesting what's for the highest good of all, and sound healing. There's this amazing old church bell outside, which you can tap and feel the vibrations from. Also, the message here is conjuring, and this church is also very powerful. It's on the ley line. And 13, St Benet Paul's Wharf. Again, here I got the message of magic, Merlin, moss, which you can see on the steps here. The actual church looked kind of neglected, but the moss is indicating its high energy. I got a strong link with Wales, the country, Wales, red brick, hearing water, untapped magic, energy, and power is the message here. So ask for it to come, that energy and the power to come when you are ready for it. Church 14 is St Nicholas Cole Abbey. Now, this church has a beautiful little garden here, just across from it with a waterfall at the end, which is an excellent site for healing and cleansing and just to sit and clear your aura and let it all go. The message from the church itself is relief, release, and reset. 15, we have St Mary, Aldermary. The message here is that it links to the whole chakra system, getting what you deserve, and it asks, what do you want to create? So the colour here is orange, and the message is creativity. Church 16 is St James, Garlickhythe, and the message is freedom, looking up and out. Strong links to the 2 and 3 of wands in the tarot. So looking up into the distance, thinking beyond where you are now. He's holding a globe, looking out to sea, so thinking very broadly. And the question is, where do you want to go? What do you want to do? What do you want to create and make happen? Open your mind. And I just point out, just down from here, we've got Whittington Garden. So this is a lovely little garden with a fountain. It's on a busy road on Upper Thames Street. And the church here, St Michael's, is temporarily closed. But this garden was really peaceful despite the traffic. There was a bird, there were lovely bright yellow flowers, and there's a tree between the garden and the church. And the message from that tree is, do something, take action, and take the first step. And the message from St Michael's Church is, trust and believe in yourself. You know what you are doing. Okay, 17, St Stephen, Walbrook, named after the Walbrook River. Here, the vicar started this Samaritans organisation, where people ring up for help and counselling support. So the original phone is in there, and the message is be the light, rebuild, go your own way, relief, and trust the process. And nearby again, look at this cross in like vegetation on the wall. Okay, 18 St Mary Woolnoth. This one's all about music. So there are these trumpet flowers and this statue on the right in the picture here with 3 singers. And the message is music, and to connect to a song, to the message or the lyrics of a song, connection through communication, and also the message that you don't have to do everything alone. Next church, St Mary Abchurch. This links to the base chakra, so grounding and earthing. Red colour, the message is ground yourself and be proud of what you've achieved and overcome. You are safe. Church 20, St Michael Cornhill. The message is powerful, majestic, ancient wisdom, ancient land, druid site, ley line, and access to the higher chakras and psychic insights. Church 21 is St Peter Cornhill. The message is grounding, inner stillness, and give yourself mental and physical space. Church 22, St Edmund King and Martyr. The message is to balance freedom and adventure with peace and familiarity. Church 23 is St Clement Eastcheap. The message is step by step, enjoy the journey, and be calm when you take actions and make decisions. Church 24, St Magnus the Martyr. This again had a very peaceful garden near it off a busy road near the river. It's very high spirituality, very, very high vibe here, and it links to the crown chakra and higher chakras. The colour is violet, and you can see here there's this piece of Roman wood from a Roman wharf. There's this curved tree, which shows it's on a ley line in the churchyard, and the message is also, you are light. Church 25 is St Mary at Hill. The message is let go of baggage, blue chakra, blue colour for healing, open, free, and release blockages. 26, St Margaret Pattens. The message is magic, strong connection with ancestors, manifest. It is on a ley line with the shard, which you can see from the front of the church down here. And also this shard, the top of it is shaped like a spire. So that was an interesting connection there. Okay, 27, All-Hallows-Barking-by-the-Tower. This was a daughter house to Barking Abbey further east. The message is relax, you are safe, held and surrounded by love. It links to pink chakra healing energy and healing. 28 is St Olave Hart Street. There's a lovely garden here as well. The message is gentle, be gentle, happy, joy, sunshine, have faith in overcoming obstacles, love and care for others, and vice versa. Let them love and care for you. 29 is St Botolph-without-Bishopsgate. This church feels a lot more East End. It's right on the edge of the city, just as you're going into Tower Hamlets. And the message is gateway, portal, happy memories, energy moving up the spine when all chakras are open. And the number 9, full experience. Happiness, wholeness, relief, you made it. The guiding light in the darkness and the way out of it. Church 30 is St Katherine Cree. The message is grounding, healing, be you, and keep your essence and love, and the colour pink. 31 is St Andrew Undershaft. Another nice garden to sit in here. The message is green, growth, fresh ideas and energy, release to make space, the new, and allow your heart to open. 32, St Helens Bishopsgate, easy transferal of healing energy, head energy, third eye, don't question the insights you get, and calming to the nervous system. And nearby we have St Ethelburga's, which isn't used as a church now. It's a centre for reconciliation. But I just got the message here, keep things simple. 33 is St Botolph-without-Bishopsgate, down near Liverpool Street Station. The message is, nothing you do is wrong. Your words and actions have great positive power and impact. 34 is All-Hallows London Wall. And we've got a slight bend in the tree here, which is notable. The message is warmth, free flow of energy, heart healing, be in the moment, and find peace in each moment. 35 is St Margaret Lothbury. The message is clarity gives strength and power to words and actions. And 36 is a powerful one, St Lawrence Jewry. It was bombed in World War II. And I made 2 visits here, one at the start of my walk of the 36 sites and one at the end. On my first stop there, the message I got was harvest, wholeness, success, globe or global, and watching. And my second visit right at the end of this whole walk was portal. Personal power, fulfilling your destiny, having intention for the highest good of all. And I'd like to point out here there's a pond, which is healing water in front of the church. And there are fish in the pond as well. It's a really nice place to sit. Very, very quiet, just near the Guildhall. And last but not least, on this walk, St Paul's Cathedral. So the message here is very simple: world, love, and open heart. So that was the end of that walk I did of the 36 sites. But then, as I said, I went back the following weekend because I was drawn to visit 4 extra sites, which are not churches in active worship, but still powerful sites, which were places of worship. I'll point out as well, there is one Catholic church in the City of London, and I believe 2 synagogues as well, which I didn't visit for these visits. All right, so here's our bonus sites. 38 is St Alphege, London Wall. It is a ruin, so what you can see here is a little park with a remnant from London Wall. There's a statue of the Minotaur in the park, and the Minotaur represents introspection because he's at the centre of the labyrinth, gaining awareness of our subconscious thoughts and fears, going into the labyrinth of our subconscious mind to overcome inner barriers. So here is the actual church. So there's a road on this side, the park is on this side, and there's a walkway around it. It's right next to Barbican, just between London Wall and 4 Street. And it's very peaceful. There were lots of birds. And the message here is to stop, really stop, and ask what you need to come to you with faith. Even if you don't know what that is, just ask for whatever it is that you need to come. All right, site 39 is St Peter Cheap on Wood Street. So this is a tiny churchyard with this tree in it. It's on the corner of Wood Street and Cheapside, just opposite One New Change. And this tree survived the Blitz in World War II. And the message from the tree and the site is active energy. You can survive and enjoy yourself. Make plans and ask yourself, what do you want to do? Right, site 40 is St Swithin. This is on St Swithin's Lane off Cannon Street near the London Stone at 111 Cannon Street. So St Swithin was destroyed by the bombings in 1940 to 41. Originally, the London Stone was inside this church behind a grill on the side. And the London Stone, there's some debate about what its purpose was. Some say it was a Roman milestone to mark the centre of the City of London, although apparently Romans didn't do this in any other city. Or possibly it was a Druid or pagan altar for ceremonies. Whatever it was, it became a symbol of the City of London. Visitors would travel to see it. I don't think that happens so much now, it's easy to walk past and not even notice. So it is a block of, in fact, let me show it to you. I'm going to go back to the church now. I'm talking about the stone. It is here in this picture. Now, apologies, someone had parked their bike in front of the rock. So you see this reflection of a bike with the London stone behind it. And it's in this casing in the wall of the building at 111 Cannon Street, just near Cannon Street Station. It's a block of limestone. Originally, the stone was much larger, and it, as I say, was in the church. No one knows where it came from, but it's seen as the magical heart of London. So that is the London stone, originally in this church. So let me tell you the message I got from St. Swithin's. First message was, stop everything and go within. When you have clarity, take the next steps, and just the word magic. Second message I got from this site was magical swirling light blue, a place for realizations and new ideas, cool blue healing, nothing is impossible, dreams. This site is a portal. Go in here and put everything on pause. And you find this place when you're ready for the insights and realizations it will bring you. And just back to the stone, I did get a message from it. And it was just all about love. Come with love, give love, speak love, and what would love do? Be guided by love, and you won't go wrong. And finally, really special site, St. Dunstan-in-the-West. It is down Idle Lane off the street called Eastcheap. It was destroyed by the Great Fire of London and rebuilt, and then destroyed again in the World War II bombing. My intuitive take on it before my visit was that it linked to the higher chakras, so green of the heart, blue of the throat, purple of the third eye, and crown. And the message I got there was renewing energy and cleansing, like a net going over you and just cleansing your aura. This is a place that clears your aura. And the message is, don't give up. Visualize what you want, and with that visualization, start with how it will feel. Okay, and that was that. I finish off with this picture, just taken of part of the skyline of the City of London with all these new skyscrapers. This triangle shape is really common. So this is the building they call the Scalpel, and that triangle is reflected here in this building as well. We also see at Canary Wharf, pyramid shapes and triangles on buildings. So it just made me reflect, are these tower blocks the new churches? Are they the modern buildings that are built to, expand and make use of the earth and psychic energy in this powerful location of the City of London? And that is really the end of my look at the city churches. However, there is one more location I want to mention, which I didn't visit on these walks, but I do intend to go there myself in the future. I'll make a video just about this church to tune into its energy and get any messages from it. So I'll tell you a little bit about it now if you're interested, but there will be another video coming. I wondered why it wasn't on my list of Anglican places of worship, but it could be that it's a royal peculiar. So that means an Anglican church not subject to the jurisdiction of the diocese it lies in, but subject to the direct jurisdiction of the monarch. So other royal peculiars are Westminster Abbey, chapels in royal palaces like St. James's Palace and the Savoy Chapel down near Fleet Street. So it was built in 1185 by the Knights Templar, and that's a group that's linked, some say, with the Freemasons. They were the military order of the Catholic faith. They were soldier monks who protected pilgrims travelling to Jerusalem. So this church started as a place of protection for the pilgrims on their way to Jerusalem. It's now owned by the Inner and Middle Temple Inns of Court. So this is the centre of law in London. This church was damaged in World War II bombing and rebuilt. It's famous for being round. And the Knights Templar order was very powerful in England, so the nobles kept their wealth in the church, so the crown couldn't seize it. The Knights Templar was abolished in 1307 and the crown took over, and this church was originally used for Templar initiation ceremonies. This church was referred to in Dan Brown's book, The Da Vinci Code. So that was this action thriller, I think from 2003, and the movie they made was 2006. And it was about the idea that Jesus and Mary had children, and one of the characters in the movie was related to them, and they follow all these clues in France and the UK, like the Louvre, which has that pyramid shape. So looking forward to visiting that one. When I do, I'll make a video and give you, as I say, any messages I get there. So I hope you enjoyed that video, and I'll talk again soon.